Hi guys, hope you're well. You may have seen on the channel over the last few weeks a series of interviews with Peter Defreitas, who was Nigel Benn's boxing manager. Fascinating interviews, and they was in 5 parts. Well, quite a few people have said, can I put all the 5 parts together in one part so they can watch it all the way through? So here it is, the complete interview with Peter Defreitas, all 5 parts, the brutal truth. So hi folks, it's a real pleasure to be here with Peter Defreitas, who was Nigel Benn's manager and also his co-trainer. And Peter, of course, is a bit of a legend in the boxing business and doesn't do many interviews at all. So it's a great honour for me to be able to have a chat with him. How did it all start? Because you had a really tough upbringing, didn't you?
The thing was, I had a very, very strict dad. And when I mean strict, I'm talking about dad that used to hit you hard and hit you, you know. Today you'd probably get arrested. God rest his soul, he's not here, but I still love him. But he brought us up hard. You know, his answer to everything was to hit you, you know, which in today's world wouldn't work. So I did have a very tough upbringing, and then my mum got ill when we was all very young. We got put in a children's home while she was in hospital. So we was all split up all the time. We never really had a family home as such, you know, like brother and sister.
Did that affect you at all?
It did, yeah. When I was 8, 9, I was always fighting because my dad used to hit me, and because he was too big for me to hit back, I used to go and take it out of someone else at school or wherever. Anyone I could have a fight with, I did. And my other 2 older brothers were the same. It's just that I probably turned out to be the worst one out of them all, you know.
Did you end up in children's homes?
I'd done a children's home. I'd done a psychiatric, I was under a psychiatric doctor from the age of 8 for violence.
Right.
And then I went into, as I got a bit older, I started seeing the psychiatrist, and then I got done in 74. And then I got put in detention centre in Woking, just after the Woking bombings. I don't know if you remember the IRA bombings, just after Guildford bombings.
Yes, I know that.
I got put in Send, DC, which was just up there in 74. Then I come out of there, and then 2 years later, I was in 76, I got put in a psychiatric Borstal. I done Felton Borstal in 76.
What was the reason that you went in there?
I was doing people with an hammer. I had an hammer and I had death stick carved out on it. That was the biggest trouble. It wasn't the fact that I used an hammer. Mm-hmm. The judge said the fact is you've got death stick carved out on it and drilled an hole through the bottom with a strap on it, so that you could strap it on and spin it and hold it, so you never let go, you know. So,
and do you put down all that sort of violence definitely down to your background?
The fact of getting hit, yeah, all the time. I was getting hit all the time by my dad. I'm talking about trousers down and belt till you bled.
Really?
Yeah. I'm talking about severe beatings, not just a slap.
Yeah.
Severe
That's
beatings. Yeah. I could never have touched one of my children. I never have done. What it is, my mum and dad used to fight like cat and dog. Mm-hmm. They should never have got married. They should have had children. My mum was 15 when she had my first brother.
Yes.
And she had 5 kids by the time she was 23. Mm-hmm. She had 5 kids. Back in them days when it was hard.
Yeah. Did you go out looking for trouble?
I did look for fights. I wasn't a thief. I didn't steal. I didn't rob people. I didn't rob houses. I didn't do none of that. All I done was have tear-ups everywhere fighting.
Really? Yeah. And was that something that you'd arrange, or you just...
Go to different areas. I'd fight the best from that area. The guy who we thought was the best from that area, I'd go and meet him and fight. That was just me. I love fighting. I would see the trouble with me. I had no fear. I was game. I'm not saying I'm a villain. I'm the artist or whatever. I was game.
Yeah.
And I just enjoyed it. But then it wasn't with a knife. It wasn't with it was only when I got older that I got a bit naughty. But when I was young, it was all fisticuffs. So I earned my reputation from street fighting as a kid. Mm-hmm. And then as I got older and older.
Did any of that come from kind of racism that you'd experienced?
I did suffer it, racism. Yeah. I did suffer it, because when I was young, in the 60s, there was, this is even before the Windrush come here. Yeah. You know, when I was walking around as a young boy, in the 65, 66, just about the Windrush when they started coming over. It wasn't, but before that I was getting called all kinds of names at school.
Right.
You can imagine, I'm mixed race. I was targeted like they are now today.
Did you feel sort of, very isolated, or did you go around with a gang, or were you very much a solo person?
No, I was football crazy when I was young. I was a good footballer, I was a very good footballer. I was crazy football. I loved it. And all I'd done was play football. But then when I left the playground, like the school or wherever, all I wanted to do weekends when the school was fight.
Yes. Were you attached to a particular team?
I was on West Ham's books. I signed for West Ham when I was young. Yeah, in 72, 73 I was at West Ham. Yeah. But when I got expelled from school, They wouldn't have me there no more. They said, we can't keep you. And then
why were you expelled then?
Fighting.
Yeah.
Fighting every day.
Really?
Every day fighting, yeah.
Did you ever suffer any extreme injuries with your fighting?
Not when I was young, no. No. I had I fisticuffs, got black eyes, all the rest, and But to be honest, I know it sounds like I'm sitting there being big-headed, but I never got beat.
No.
I never got beat.
No.
Because I had the will to win the heart of a lion.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I'm super tough or whatever, but the fights I had weren't picked, but I didn't care. I had so much will to win.
Yes.
And I'm not a great, big, massive guy.
No. And in actual we should say that you've actually lost quite a lot of weight.
Yeah, I've lost 5 stone in weight, yeah.
Yeah,
but,
which we'll talk about maybe later on.
Yeah.
So when you got expelled, how did you make your living? How did you get out and about?
My trade, believe it or not, I'm a carpet fitter. I've been a carpet fitter for 47 years.
Yes.
And I absolutely adore the job.
Yeah.
Nothing I enjoyed more than getting up, down to work, laying my carpets, doing carpet fitting. And I've done contract work, domestic. I've done the QE2 when it came back from the Falklands.
Did you?
Yeah, I've done loads of big jobs, all hotels up London, all the Holiday Inn hotels, Hilton hotels. All over the years, I've done all big contract stuff. That's what I've done. That's what I am. I'm a carpet fitter by trade.
So carpet fitting, did you move on to working on the door?
Yes, I was a doorman from the age of 16 right up to 30 odd.
That's quite young to start.
Yeah, 16. Yeah, I was a young, but I had a reputation in the East End. Everybody knew me.
Yeah.
If Pete's on the door, he's gonna have a row back. Don't fucking start there because he's gonna have a row.
So how early was it that you actually started to build that reputation?
But let's say 11 years old, I really got the big name from when I was the first year at seniors.
Yes.
I lasted 1 year there, and I was the first year,
Yeah.
and I was beating up 4th and 5th years,
Right.
which is the oldest years. I don't know how they work it now. It's 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 now, and it's 9, 10, 11. I was beating the oldest kids in the school.
Yes.
Everyone was scared.
Yeah. Did you like that feeling of sort of being...
Yeah, I did, I got a little buzz off it, because the ice cream guy, Dave, who used to park his ice cream in there, van in the school playground, he used to pay me every day to give me, I think it was sixpence or like 2 bob, and a free ice cream every day, just not to have blood up his van and all that, because I was fighting all the blood's going up the side of the van. And he used to say to me, Pete, if I give you an ice cream, you keep your fights away from the van. Yeah. Because people wouldn't go near the van.
So you didn't go into crime or anything.
No.
It was just violence on the streets.
Street fighting. I was just a game. I'm not going to say I'm a super hard man or whatever, but I was just game and had no fear.
Yeah.
Just enjoyed it.
Tell us about life on the door.
I worked the doors for a lot of years. Everybody knew me. I wasn't a bully, but I was obviously worked with a few other guys that I trusted. I never worked with strangers.
No.
I only worked with people I know.
Yeah. Is it very much a team on the door?
My little team, me and my friends, no one was in charge. No one person was in charge. I never tried to tell anybody else what to do, and nobody else told me what to do. Because believe it or not, one thing I will say on here, I ain't a sheep for nobody. No. I'm the leader. If anything, I ain't a sheep. You understand? I don't follow nobody, because I worked in Moros, which is Stratford in the East End. Well, in Moros, and that was a tough place. You had Stratford v Canning Town every Friday night and Saturday night having it off. And I'm a proper East End boy, and I've worked the doors, since I was a kid, and there's loads of trouble. And then in '85, I got done for murder.
Did you?
Yeah, I got done for murder in '85. Yeah, I got arrested and charged. I got arrested. I didn't get charged. I got arrested and held for 3 days on a murder charge. Yes. Because what happened was I become more than the doorman in Moros. I ended up being the manager.
Yes.
I took over the pub.
Yes.
The very next night, I was there on my own. Anyway, a guy got killed.
Right.
All I will say is I got arrested for it.
Yes.
The guy was an out-and-out bully. He was a very close friend with Mickey Gluckstead.
Yes.
They was running around bullying everybody at the time in every pub and club around the area.
Yes.
But they obviously went to the wrong place and messed up with the wrong people.
Yes.
That's all I can say about that. But
you got off on...
yeah, they had to let me go after 3-4 days. They wanted to charge me.
Yes.
But there was a guy, one of my friends, who was a boxer, pro boxer, called Abby Bucharest.
Yes.
Very nice friend. He was giving it all the large to the superintendent in charge of the case.
Yes.
After he got pulled in for questioning, he was saying, well, send any of your officers down there, I'll fucking do them and all that, apparently he was saying. And they said, oh, you're tough, are you? He went, yeah, and they went, right, charge him with murder. And they charged him for the murder instead of me.
Really?
They wanted to charge me.
Yes.
But they charged him instead for all of his...
Yeah.
They charged him and one of my other close friends.
Did he go down for it?
What happened was, where they made the mistake was, the police, charged them as a joint venture.
Yes.
So when they went to the Old Bailey for trial, him and my friend, the jury came out and said, can we find one guilty and one not guilty? And the judge said, no, they've been charged as a joint venture. You either got to find them both guilty or both not guilty. And so they said, well, we believe one's innocent and one's guilty. So the judge said, well, they're both not guilty then. And that's how they got off, both of them.
So tough days on the doors. Yeah. But did you enjoy it?
Yeah, I used to love a scrap. Yeah. So it was, for me, Friday and Saturday nights, I loved. Yeah. But the only thing was I had a daughter at a young age. My daughter, Laura, she's 42 now. Yeah. Yeah, she was my apple of my eye, obviously. So I wanted to get home safe to Laura, you know. Yes.
Was it affecting all of that kind of aggravation and stuff? Was it affecting your private life?
It did, because I'm going to be honest now, my wife was a very good wife. Yes. I'm not going to sit here and slate her. She was a great wife. And I really abused her kindness by messing with other women. Yeah. When you're in a club, you know, if you're a doorman, the girls flock round you like sheep. Yeah. And I just couldn't say no. Yeah. And my wife divorced me, and I don't blame her one bit for doing it. Yes. Only recently she divorced me, by the way. 32 years we stayed married, but 10 years ago she had the sense to get up and divorce me, and I don't blame her for it, not one bit.
Do you say you still get on with her?
No, I don't see her. Yeah. No, I'm fine about it, because she's done nothing wrong to a degree. Yeah. 90% of it was all my fault. Yes. But 10% was, like, over the last 10 years, she turned my two eldest children away from me. Yes. And that's what's hurt me. Yeah. Yeah. Well, and it's something that I can't accept.
Would you like to presumably get that back?
I have two children in my life. Of course I want Laura and Ricky back in my life. Obviously they're my children. My grandchildren are missing. Yeah. But what can I do about it? Yeah. Apart from get violent. Yeah. And then I end up, sitting in prison for life.
Do you ever feel...
I can't go in anything 50%, sorry. If it gets to that stage where something's heavy on me, I can wind myself up to kill instantly. That's how bad I get.
Really?
So I have to keep myself out of the way, calm and quiet, because I'll wind myself up to a state of frenzy. You understand that? That's how bad I get.
When they analysed you early on, psychiatrically, what were they saying about you?
Oh, they definitely said I've got bad tendencies, violent tendencies, and they put me on drugs back in the year, when I was a youngster, 16, they put me on Ativan and Lidactyl. I don't smoke, I don't drink, I don't take drugs. Yes. I haven't drunk alcohol for 4 years. I don't smoke and I don't take drugs. I never took drugs in my life, ever. No. I'm not that way of life. I'm a clean living guy.
Yeah. So you still feel you've got that little edge there, if
I'm frightened, because obviously I'm not in the same strength or the capabilities of what I was.
Yes, that's different.
But up there I'm worse. I'm dangerous. If I want to be, believe me, I am. I'm not saying I'm more dangerous than anybody else, but I'm a dangerous man. If I get upset or I wind myself up, I could take a life like that instant. I wouldn't give them monkeys.
And also, you've had a lot of things to contend with. Pete's been suffering from cancer, haven't you, for the last...
I've been suffering from cancer for 2 years now. Yeah.
How has that affected you, sort of mentally and physically?
I'm upset that not one member of the family come and see me. Nobody's come. I've been through it all on my own. Absolutely, 100% on my own.
Which is tough. That's tough.
I had to get up, go to hospital with my bag on my own, get operated on, come home on my own, do me washing, cooking, cleaning, ironing, all myself. Yeah. After having all my guts, cut open and all the rest of it.
Do you prefer, though, being on your own like that?
I would never marry again. I made the mistake of getting married to a young lady. That was a mistake, and it's a mistake I would never make again. Yeah. Since my wife, there will never be another Julie. No. In my life, there will never be another Julia. But I have to learn. I have to let her have the few years she's got left. I have to have her. Hopefully, she enjoys her few years she's got, because she did put up with a lot of shit from me. Yeah. And I don't mean physical violence or nothing like that, but just me womanising and being an adulteress, basically. Yeah.
But I suppose as young men and all of that, it's kind of difficult when you've suddenly been, women throwing themselves at you and stuff like that, isn't it? I'm not saying it's an excuse.
I wasn't a bad looking guy either. Yeah. You understand? When I was young, I had jet black hair, and I'm an old man now. I'm 60 odd years old, but when I was young, I was a quite good looking guy, and the girls I was attracted to the girls, and girls attracted to me. So obviously, I didn't have the willpower to say no. That I've got a lovely family at home, and I should be sticking with my family. And also, obviously, as you know, later on in life, I become Nigel Benn's manager, and obviously on TV, they've got to see you on TV. You're a star.
Yeah.
And I was only the manager.
Let's talk about that transition. So you work with the doors and everything else like that. How do you then end up working with Nigel Benn?
Well, what happened was I was on the door, and I was I run a restaurant and a wine bar called Joanna's and the Apollo, which the Apollo owned.
Yes.
Which was like 2 doors away, where all the celebrities used to eat. So I've looked after Benny Hill, Glenn Murphy from London's Burning, he's been in there. I looked after Glenn, all them kind of people that was in there, you know, all the footballers and all that, and Frank McAvenny and all them, West Ham players and all that. So I know all them, grew up with all them, looking after them, all the page 3 girls, and went out with a couple of them. I won't say no names. Went out with a couple of them. Introduced to Nigel when he came in with Ambrose and a couple of others. Got introduced. Pete's on the door here. Pete runs it. Yes, I know all about you. Yes, obviously he's from Ilford, so he knows all about Peter Defreitas.
Yes.
But he never met me. So we met anyway, and we sort of hit it off. But it was only a friendship, not to just hello, how are you type of thing. And my mate Gilly, who owned the restaurant, he said to me, Pete, he's fighting Michael Watson. He's defending his Commonwealth title against Michael Watson. He said, I've got the VIP tent for the celebrities.
Yes.
Will you do the security for me? Can you get a few of your pals? And I said, yeah, of course, no problem. So anyway, I think it was about 9 or 10 of us I got, and we done the VIP at Finsbury Park.
Yes.
So you had the main arena tent where Nigel fought in, and then you had the tent where the VIPs stood and had their drinks and before they went in through a separate. So what my job was to let my lads keep an eye on the tent, and my job was to walk each celebrity into the venue and seat them.
Yes.
That was my job at the time.
Yeah.
Anyway, after he got beat, I met Nigel on the Monday after at the Apollo. One lunchtime he come in and he come over to me and we had a chat. And he went to me, Pete, he goes, could we have a good talk? I said, yeah. So we had a chat, and he said to me, look, I got beat. He said, I got my arse whipped. He said, I don't like it. He said, so I'm going to be packing my bag. He said, and I'm going over to America.
Yes.
He said, to Florida. He said, Miami, Florida. He said, I'm going to go out there. He said, if I'm going to be a world champion, this was his exact words. He said, if I'm going to be a world champion, I've got to go and beat the Yanks.
Yes.
That will tell me, gauge me if I'm in the right ballpark. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I said, yeah, okay. So he said, look, I need someone to come out there with me. He said, I've got a trainer out there called Vic Andretti. He said, I'm going to be staying near Vic in Miami. He said, and I'm going to go out there. He said, and I want you to come out there after about a week, 10 days. Will you come? So I said, well, hang on, Nigel, I've got a wife and at the time I had 2 kids.
Yes.
So I said, Nigel, I've got a wife and 2 kids at home. I'll sort out giving your wife some money each week and all that, and I'll look after you out there. You won't want for nothing. So I said, okay, I'll speak to the wife and see what she says. She said, Pete, if that's what you want to do and if you sort of like your goal, go out there.
Yes.
I'll be fine. So I said, okay. She had good parents that looked after her, so she was okay. And we, apart from me womanising, we had a good other relationship. Apart from obviously that, I mean, I wasn't a drunk. I wasn't a, it was quite good. I flew out to Miami with him, and we stayed out there together. And our bond just got stronger and stronger. Yeah, I had my own security. Yeah, I didn't need nobody else. But I want to get this straight out there.
Yeah.
Colton Leach, Tony Tucker was not Nigel Benn's security.
No,
never. They was his friends.
Yes.
Right? Now, I've known Colton. I want to get a couple of things straight about this while I'm on this subject.
Yeah.
Right. Nigel Benn was friends with Tony Tucker and Colton Leach. I don't ever think he was friends with Tate. I don't think he ever met him. No. But a couple of things. Let's start from the very beginning. I never, ever went to one after party of Nigel Benn's.
Right.
Never.
Right.
Not my scene.
Yeah.
I used to meet my friends, Tony Sims, and a couple of other people come up to me and watch the fights. I'll get my accountant, I'll give them VIP tickets. Afterwards we go and meet, we have a meal. Yeah. Nigel does his thing, Peter does his thing.
Yes.
Peter ain't living under the shadow of Nigel Benn, and all that rave music ain't my cup of tea. So I never went to one after party in any fight I worked for Nigel Benn. I'm not friends with Tony Tucker. No. I've known Colton Leach for over 40 years. Yes. Right? I've worked the door with Colton. So I know Colton, but I'm not his pal as such. Yeah? Right. So I've read the other day on there's a somebody's put out on a post podcast the other day. Excuse me. Yeah. That I knocked out Tony Tucker. Roy Shaw beat up Tate, and I beat up Lenny. I beat up Tony Tucker. Let me just say this: I've only ever met Tony Tucker 3 times in my entire life. Yeah. And that's a fact. I don't lie.
Yeah.
I've never had an argument with him, and I've never had a fight with him, and I've never laid a glove on him, and he's never laid a glove on me.
So where did all those rumours come from?
I don't know. Yeah. I was shocked more than anybody.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I'm even getting brought up in the murder of the Essex boys. No, I don't run with that pat. No. That ain't my kind of people I run with.
No.
I run with sensible people who know how to get a pound note. I don't want to be the local hard nut.
No.
You know, I'm running with the proper people. When I go to work, I go to work properly. I don't go out bullying people for 50 quid or 100 quid, you know, or a bag of Smarties. That ain't my game. No. I go to work proper if I go to work.
So that is, you can completely put that rumour...
Yeah, I just want it out there that it's not true.
Yeah.
A few people have messaged me, is it true, is it true? And I said, no, I'm doing a podcast in a couple of weeks. Yeah. You'll listen to the podcast and you'll hear it. So this is the first time it's gone out there. Yeah. I've only ever met Tucker 3 times. Yeah. I've never laid a glove on him and he's never laid a glove on me. Yeah. And he was Nigel Benn's friend, not Peter Defreitas'.
Yeah. So did they used to walk him out on the ring and stuff like that?
They done it, I think it's one fight they done it. The McClellan fight. They never walked him out before that. Only my brother, Dave, and my friend Kenny and Noah, 2 brothers, they were the security. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of built up, isn't it? That they were always walking him out.
Why did he need the security? I've got 200 police officers there if I need them. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
I obviously had personal security around him for after the fights and before the fights or whatever, just like 2 or 3. Yeah. That's it. But my brother Dave was one, and my 2 mates, Kenny and Noah. Yeah. They were the other two black guys, that worked for me, who were my friends, personal friends. Yeah. And that's it. There was never nobody else. No. You know, all the others, he just used to say, they must have said to Nigel, can we walk you out? And he's gone, yeah, all right. He's the boss at the end of the day. What he says goes. Yes. But he trusted me enough to do what I felt was right without him getting involved. Yeah,
so it's a bit of a myth.
It is all a myth. Yeah. Absolute myth. But I just don't want to go on there and start debating with people and people winding me up because I'm not that type of person who'll suffer that shit. No. You understand? So I don't want to start debating with anybody in the first place exactly. Because my temper would go, and that's why I keep off social media a lot. Yeah.
You'd be so good on social media, you know that, because you're so informed about boxing. And
look, I know what goes on in the streets. Yes. North London, South London, West London and East London. I know all what goes on the streets. I know everybody that matters. Yeah. That's one thing I do. But I don't go around like I'm a great big bully or I'm a villain. I'm not. No. I'm just a guy that was game, that earned a reputation from having a scrap, a good scrap, and I could have a fight. That's it. I'm not nobody special. I'm just Peter. And that's how I like to be. So I'm 5 years older than Nigel. I started advising him. Yeah. So one day he just turned around to me and he said to me, well, why don't you do it then? Like that. So I said, well, okay, not a problem, Nigel. Because I went out there basically not to be his bodyguard, because I mean he can look after himself. I mean he's a fighter, for God's sake. But what it is, he can't afford to get in them situations. His hands are his living. Yes. So I went out there to make sure there was no trouble, and basically I was security, but in a different way than people say I'm his bodyguard. I wasn't his bodyguard. He don't need bodyguards. And what happened was we went out to fight Mauro Galvano. That's right. Yeah. To Tenerife. Now Barry Earn was our promoter at the time. Yes. So we said, like, we're going to training camp, we're going to fight, get ready for Mauro Galvano, and then I get a phone call from Barry Earn saying, Pete, the fight's off. I said, do what? I said, he's going to go fucking ape shit. This is like, sorry about swearing. Yeah, he's going to go ape shit. So I was gone. This is like 3-4 weeks into the camp. I said, you go mad. So I said. So anyway, he said, well, you've got to tell him he's off. Mauro Galvano has had a row with his manager and split up with his manager, and he don't want to fight because the fight was supposed to be in UK. Yeah. So I've gone into his room and I said, look, Nigel, sit down. And I'll never forget, in the living room was a big round coffee table with a glass coffee table in the middle. Anyway, Jimmy Tibbs was there, me and Nigel, and I've gone, Nigel, I've got some bad news, mate. So he's gone, what? So I've gone, the fight's off. You ain't joking, are you? I said, he said, you joking? I went, no. He went, what's fucking going on? You know, what's going on? So I said, Galvano's fallen out with his manager, and now he's on his own, he don't want to fight. So he's gone crash with his hand right through the glass. I thought, no, he's going to cut his hand up here. But he didn't, thank God, not a cut. Yeah. So he's gone, Pete, get the next flight home and sort it out. I want that fight. I don't care where it is. Put the tent up, put the ring up in his back garden. He said, I don't care. So I said, okay. I said, but you know, if we go to Italy and fight him, you need 2 knockouts to get a draw. So he said, Yeah, I don't care, I'm going to smash him. So I said, okay. So went back to Barry Hearn, I said, and I basically, in a way, I put it on Barry Hearn. I said, this fight's got to happen. I said, I'm going to stay here till you come and tell me that it's on, and then I can fly back and tell him. I said, he's in training camp, still training. I've told him to carry on training because I've got full confidence in you to sort it out. He called me in after about 2 days. He said, Pete, the fight's on, but it's in Italy.
Yeah.
I said, I don't care. I said, is it 100% on? He said, yes, I've got the fight in Italy. Done. So I said, okay. Flew all the way back. I said, I've got the fight. Oh, Nigel cuddled me and it was great, and all that. Yeah, and we went out there, we done the business. Nigel Benn is the new champion of the world, and he got it. Fantastic. But we had to have we had a rematch clause in there, didn't we? So we had to have a rematch clause. Yeah. That was the only one of the options, stipulations I had to do was put a rematch in it for Galvano. Yeah. So I can't say no, I wanted to fight. So Nigel went, oh, you should never have do a rematch, Pete. I said, Nigel, you wouldn't have got the fight if I didn't do it. Because he nearly got knocked out in the last round on a rematch. Yeah, that's right at the last bell. 30 seconds to go, he got chinned on the ropes. So, yeah, so...
when did you kind of officially take over?
This is what I was going to say. This is just after that. The Eubank was at the ringside, and he's gone, oh, now we can do business and all this and all that. So that all went on. Yeah. So me and Eubank never got on. No. He used to go to me, what are you doing here? Why are you here? What? I said, I'm his manager. What are you talking about? What am I doing here? You know, I'm his licensed manager. I'm his only licensed manager. Yes. You know, I said, I'm his licensed manager. What are you talking about? I said, listen, without me, you don't get no fight. Yeah. At the time, Barry Hearn didn't have the money to put that fight on. They got hold of Frank Warren and they got hold of Don King, who was doing business at the time. So Don King had the money. Frank Warren didn't have the money at the time either. Yeah. So what they needed, because Don needed an English promoter to put on the fight here, it had to be a freeway traffic. That's why you always see a photo of Barry and Frank Warren and Don King together. That's because they was amalgamated to make this one fight. But Don King put the money up. So before the fight, I flew over to Nigel in Marina Del Rey for the weekend, and I said to him, look, how much? We had to sit down and have a chat. I said, what sort of money do you want to fight Chris Eubank in a rematch? So I said, because I think I can pull the fight off. Yeah. So he goes, yeah, I'd like to fight him back again, Pete. He said, I want to show him that I can beat. You know, he trained like a champion last time, I didn't. He said, but this time I will. So he gave me a figure, right? So I said, so is that what you want then? So he said to me, I can say this figure because it's well known what he got anyway. So he came up with a figure about 600 or 700 grand he would have been happy with to fight at the time. Yes. That's a lot. That was a lot of money 30 years ago. Yeah. So I turned around and I said to him, I'll tell you what to do, Nigel. I'll make a deal with you. So he said, what's that, Pete? So I said, if I get you £1 million to fight Chris Eubanks, you make me your licensed manager. Yeah? So he looked at me and he goes, he thought for about a minute and he went, okay, Pete. He said, but on condition that it's for a 12-month period, not 3 years, because the license is free. A manager's agreement is 3 years, but obviously you can stipulate if. So like Nigel's the boss, obviously. I work for him, so whatever he said, it was just trust basically. And also obviously I wanted to be his manager. Yes. So he said, yeah, okay, Pete. He said on a 12-monthly basis, I'll renew it every 12 months, providing it's sweet. So I said, yeah, that's fine, Nigel. Yeah. And that was good, and that's how it was, and that's how I got the manager's job with him, because I got him the £1 million for the fight.
And of course, I mean, you've not been a manager before, Brent.
One good thing I've got is a brain. Yeah. I am very, very intelligent, believe it or not. I've got a fantastic boxing knowledge. Yeah, I've got a fantastic knowledge on boxing, and I can go back from day dot. You know, I know a lot about boxing. I've studied it. You know.
What did you think about the fight itself?
I thought he was robbed.
Yeah, he was, wasn't he? I mean,
without doubt.
The point taken off, didn't he?
He had a point taken off, and it was a blow which wasn't really low. Larry O'Connell made us, before the fight, he went like bomb, and Eubank's shorts are always up here. Look at all these fights are up his navel, above his navel, and the line, as you know, is the navel and below. And Nigel didn't. It was a legal blow, but anyway, the fight got deducted. But even without that, it wasn't. It weren't no draw. No. Listen. Do you know how bad it was? I'll tell you how bad it was. There was complaints about it from all the fighters and different people around the world. Yes. Yeah. And what happened was the WBC. They got 6 Asian judges, WBC judges, to watch the fight who hadn't seen it without any volume. Yeah. And all 6 picked Nigel Benn the winner. Yeah. Not one picked Chris Eubank as the winner. So it shows you who won.
So how did Nigel react to the result?
He was absolutely gutted. He was fuming. He wouldn't even stay in the ring all day for an interview. He walked straight back to the dressing room at Old Trafford.
Yeah. Started to work for Nigel, and obviously you did business with Don King. I mean, that must be astonishing experience. I mean, is he? How do you do business with
Don
him?
King is good to do business with if you know how to do business with Don King. Like, I'm going back 30 years, 27 years now. Right, I was with Nigel. After the Eubank draw, before the fight, on the contract it stated if we win, we have to do, or lose, we have a free fight deal with Don King.
Yeah.
But nothing was put in the contract about a draw.
A draw, yeah.
So the contract then became nil and void. So after that, I said to Nigel, look, Barry Earn tried to rip us off. Before the day of the fight, I get a message from a reporter, journalist, Pete, come and see me. Now, I'm not going to mention his name because he's a nice man and he's still active.
Yeah.
So it'd be wrong for me to name him.
Yes.
He said to me, Pete, I'm going to give you a bit of advice. He said, I've been told by very good source they've not paid the sanction fees for the WBO belt.
Yes.
So if you win, you ain't getting the WBO belt. So I said, no, this fight's for both belts. Yes. They've gone, no, Pete, if he hasn't, Barry Earn hasn't paid the sanction fees.
Yes.
So I went in, ain't he? Right. So I went in and I got hold of John Morris, who was the head of the British Boxing Board of Control. So I said, John, can I have a word with you? And it was packed in this place. So I said, John, can I have a word? So I was going, I've heard that Barry Earn hasn't paid the sanction fees on the WBO belt. So he said, yeah, that's right, Peter. There's only the WBC on the line. I said, there's no fight tomorrow. I'm cancelling it.
Yeah.
I said, let me just say this to you plain and simple, John. We either sort this out here and now, or there will not be a fight tomorrow night. And I said, if I go back to Nigel Benn and tell Nigel what's happened, and he says no, there's no fight tomorrow, which he will do, because I know Nigel, not a brother, I know him. I said, if he says no, there's no fight, he won't change his mind. I said to John King, I said, right, I'm going to give you a letter. I said, £10,000 will be paid to the WBO. Yeah. And I signed it as his licensed manager. They accepted it because I'm the licensed manager. Yeah. So I gave him a letter and he gave me a letter saying that both belts are up. Otherwise we would have never rented that ring. And that'd have been 48,000 people not getting a fight.
And was that the reason then that you got rid of Hearn?
That's why I sacked him at the end of the night. Yeah. What happened was, he come to me, he said, I'm just going to walk Chris Eubank out. He said, then I'll come back and get Nigel. I said, I said, I've got Frank walking him out. He said, Frank Warren? I said, yeah. He said, why? I said, because I'm going to be doing business with him from now on. I said, I don't want you no more. I said, you're sacked. Yeah. He said, what do you mean sacked? Why? I said, because of what happened with the WBO belt. I said, you never paid the sanction fees. You tried to rip us off so that then Chris would be able to fight the number 2 for it.
How did he take it?
Well, he didn't like it, obviously. But after the fight, when I told Nigel, I said, I've sacked Barry Earn. He said, what are you talking about? You sacked Barry Earn. I said, I don't want him around us no more. Yeah. And I told him what happened. And he went, yeah, that's right. Yeah. And then the next Monday we went and met Frank. Yeah. We met him up London at Hyde Park in a hotel, and we sat there and had a bit of a chat and all that, and we went and done a deal with Frank Warren. I flew over to Miami, and I done a deal with Don King.
Tell us about Don King. I mean,
I flew over to Miami. He sent a limousine for the airport with me, put $5,000 in an envelope, $5,000. He went, this was on the Friday I arrived, and he went, right, I'll see you Monday in my office. Enjoy your weekend. He put me in a nice hotel. You can imagine what he's done, laid it all on. Anyway, so I've gone in his office on the Monday, and this is to do a 7-fight deal, right, for £4.9 million.
Oh, great.
So I've sat in his office. Each seven fights, 700 grand each fight. This is 30 years ago. 4.9 million. Yeah. So sat there, and he's put these fights out, and he goes, these are fights. I'm going to leave them blank, he said, and then when we get a fighter, if you agree, we'll sign each deal. So I said, yeah, but before I sign each one of these papers, I said, there's 2 things that have got to change. Yeah. He said, what's that? I said, well, number 1, they've got to be on British Boxing Board of Control paper. I'm not signing Don King paper. I said, you ain't tying me up in the courts in America for 5 years. Do you understand? And we can't fight. Yeah. I said, they're on British Boxing Board of Control papers, number 1. I said, because Nigel won't ever sign these on Don King papers. Yes. I said, these have got to be signed by Nigel and witnessed by me as his manager. So I said, that's number 1. Yeah. I said, and number 2, I said, on every single 7 fight deals, these fights must state, these contracts must state, these fights do not include Roy Jones Jr., Michael Nunn, or James Toney. They are separate negotiations, and they've got to be signed and witnessed by you and me on each one of these papers.
Yeah. Well, was there a particular reason that you didn't want Nigel against those fighters?
Well, the reason was they were worth a lot more money than 700 grand for starters.
Yeah.
I mean, he said to me about fighting Roy Jones Jr. I said, I'll fight Roy Jones Jr., but I want £6 million.
Yeah.
At the time, I wanted £6 million to fight Roy Jones Jr. He could have the belt for £6 million because Nigel could have retired with £6 million back in them days, so it didn't really matter. He'd coming to basically the end anyway.
Yes.
So I said, yeah. And then he said, no, we'll fight Michael Nunn for 600 grand, not 700. He wanted to change it to 600 grand to fight Michael Nunn. I said, we're not fighting Michael Nunn. Big, tall, 6'1", lanky southpaw. Who wants to fight him?
Yeah.
Holds the centre of the ring and jab move out of the way. Nigel wouldn't get near him.
Yeah.
It'd be a points win probably at the time.
Yes.
For Michael Nunn.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he was at the time he was Don King's blue-eyed boy.
Yeah.
He loved Michael Nunn.
Yeah. So you managed to get out of that. So I mean, how difficult is it to negotiate that with the sort of king of negotiators?
Well, you've got to be smart with him. Like, for instance, I also stipulated that these fights, 30 days prior to the contest, I set up what they call an irrevocable letter of credit.
Oh, I remember that. Yes, yeah.
So 30 days prior to the contest, he had to pay the 700 grand into a suspense account in our bank. Right, they set up a suspense account. Yeah. What happens is on the Saturday when Nigel fights, as soon as the first bell rings, he's got no access to that money again. Yes. But the interest that it makes over the period of 30 days has to go back to his account. Yeah. But the basic 700 on the Monday morning, as soon as the bank opens, it's transferred immediately into Nigel's account. He can't touch it. Yeah. That's how I got away with it. Yeah. So I had 30 days before the fight to stop. If he didn't pay it, I didn't have to turn up for the fight.
So you were with Nigel for 5 years?
91 to 97, in total. Yeah.
And was maybe the big fight in that, the Gerald McClellan fight?
I get a phone call from Frank Warren saying Don King wants us to fight Michael Nunn. Yeah. So I said, that ain't happening. Ain't happening. Don't want Michael Nunn. No. So he said, right, if we don't fight Michael Nunn, this is what he said after. He said, if we don't fight Michael Nunn, he's going to send Gerald McClellan over. Yeah. He's going to get him ranked number one at the next WBC convention. Yes. He's going to get him ranked, put in number one position from middleweight champion up to super middle. And he's going to bring him over here, take our title off us, and then take it back, and he'll fight Michael Nunn. Yes. And then the winner of that fight's Roy Jones Jr. That's what Don King had in plan all along. Yes. But obviously I didn't know that at the time. Only afterwards it's come out. So I've gone, well, I'll speak to Nigel. And he said, tell him to bring him. Yeah. He said, I'm not fighting with Gerald McClellan. Yeah. He said, bring him. So once he got that in his head, Nigel's very much like myself. Yeah, yeah. The only difference between me and Nigel is there's limits to where you'll go. Yes. His limit is there and mine is there. You understand? That's the only two differences. Yeah. He's a fighter like myself and he's a street fighter like myself. Yes. But there's limits. Yes. His limit is there and mine is there. And that's the difference. Yes. And so he listened to me and he knew I was smart. But anyway, they said they're going to bring Gerald McClellan over. So we said, fucking bring him. Yeah. And that's the situation. We brought him over. And they
were you worried about that fight?
Nah. No. I tell you what, I've never seen Nigel train for a fight apart from the Eubank 2 than he did for the Gerald McClellan fight. He started really cutting down his weight and bringing it down slowly from the November, and he didn't fight till the February.
Probably the greatest British fight, wasn't it? Really?
A lot of people have said since the Conor Benn situation, Nigel must have been on gear when he fought McClellan. Yeah. That's not Nigel Benn. No. He feared nobody, no matter what. As he wouldn't have took the fight, he could have had Michael Nunn and lost on points and gone, well, what can I do? He ran all night. Yeah. It was quite easy. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I mean, everybody had Nigel to get beat by McClellan anyway. I don't think anybody had him winning. No. I
mean, I don't know if there's something you wanted to talk about. I mean, I did see an interview where you didn't have a great deal of sympathy for McClellan.
No, I haven't. I haven't. Because of what happened. The way he treated us and the way he treated Nigel's dad, the way he treated everybody around us, like we was just nothing and he was the main man. Yeah. You know, going back to Nigel quickly before I jump back onto what you just spoke about. All I know is this, and I will say this, and I'm not a liar because I don't fear no one, so I don't have to lie. Yeah. I've never seen Nigel Benn take any drugs away from sport. I've seen him take vitamins, and if there was something in amongst them vitamins, I wouldn't know about it because I wasn't a trainer myself. I didn't go to gymnasiums. I'm just a normal person. Yeah. So for people to say, "Oh, Pete, you must have known." No, I didn't know. If he took anything, he must have slipped it in with his vitamins because I didn't see or understand that side of it. So because I'm not a drug taker myself, I never have took drugs. Yes. towards the end of his career, he started smoking more, not drugs, but smoking cigarettes at camp. And I thought, what the fuck are you doing? You know, having a fag. But with regards to him taking cocaine, steroids and all that, I've never seen him do that ever. And I don't believe that's in him. He wasn't frightened of nobody or nothing.
So you weren't, you weren't very happy with McClellan?
No, what happened, he came over and we was at a press conference, and I've got the CDs here if you ever want to borrow them. I've got the CDs of all the press conferences. And he turned around, he said, when I finish putting you in a wheelchair, I'm going to put your dad in a wheelchair. This is what he was saying. I'm going to knock him out he won't go 3 rounds. I'm going to knock him out. He ain't going 3 rounds. Well, that's fine to say that. But then he started going, I'm going to put you in a wheelchair and all that. And and then he's going to his dad, and when I finish putting your son in a wheelchair, I'm going to put you in a wheelchair. I've got it all on CD now. And I thought, you Matthew, gobby so-and-so, there's no need for that. Let's get it on and may the best man win. You think you're tough. Nigel knows he's tough, so I know Nigel's tough, and I know Nigel's in the best shape of his life. And I knew if it went past 3 or 4 or 5 rounds, he's in trouble. Because Nigel hits like a donkey kicks. I know McClellan's a big puncher, but at 160, and also I knew that Nigel struggled from 160 to 168. When he went up to 168, he didn't have the same power at the time. All the guys that Nigel knocked out at 168 were all 160 fighters moving up. But McClellan, what an horrible pig.
Did Nigel feel any sympathy afterwards?
No, he didn't. Not afterwards. No. It's only now. Obviously, since Nigel helped him, I think the pressure that got put on him. I honestly believe this. I believe that if Nigel didn't do what he did and help McClellan in the end, I don't think the public would have accepted him now. He's coming back after 27 years and still earning a living, going in clubs and pubs and boxing matches and venues. Because the public love him. Because he was a warrior, don't get me wrong, but it's also a smart move along the way. By helping McClellan, the public gone, well, look, at least he helped him. Whereas if he done nothing and said like I do, I'm very straight, I don't give a fuck. I don't like the geezer. I don't care that he's at home like that. Because if it was me, I'd have done the same, and I didn't care afterwards.
Well, it's such a brutal business anyway, boxing. That's kind of the thing.
Listen, at the end of the day, I learned to tell the truth. Don't worry about what anyone else. If they don't like me for it, I don't care. He was shocked when he got him with Collins twice, believe me. Collins, when I'd say this about Steve Collins. Steve Collins was a tough kid, and he was well schooled. He was with the Petronelli brothers and Agler. He sparred hundreds of rounds with Agler, so he was a well schooled fighter. But when we fought Lou Gent in Streatham, from Streatham, when we fought him up London, I offered that fight to Steve Collins first, and he turned it down. Well, let's get it right. Steve Collins didn't turn it down. Barry Hearn turned the fight down. I said to Barry Hearn, we will fight Steve Collins, and he said, no, I can't get Steve. Well, we don't want Steve Collins in there yet. Obviously, he had bigger plans. He waited till he was shot.
What did you feel about that fight where Nigel kind of retired in the ring? He got a bit of stick over it, didn't he?
I got the stick and all. But to be quite honest with you, I can see where the public's coming from. He shouldn't have.
Such a warrior.
Look, let's be 100% straight here now. I can say this now because it's all over, right? I'm going to say something that nobody's going to ever think I'm going to say. Look, I knew he was going to get beat before he got in the ring, right? Let's be honest, right? I know the way he trained for the fight. He wasn't fit enough to beat Steve Collins, let alone good enough. He wasn't fit enough. But after all the entertainment Nigel Benn's given them fans over the years, do they begrudge him earning one more payday? No. The man, if he got another 3 paydays in at the same amount, would you begrudge him that? Because he gave his heart and soul when he could have got killed against McClellan. You understand that? And the Eubank too, and a couple of others that are really tough. You know what I'm saying? He's give his heart and soul to his career. Why begrudge somebody at the end of their career? Right?
And he still gave it a go.
He still gave it a go. He gave it all, but he didn't have it in the locker. No. You understand? He went to the well, but the well was dry. You understand? So what my argument with his public is look at it in a proper, honest way. If you're a true boxing fan, why begrudge him? All right, should never have had the fight in the first, but all right, he earned good money there. It weren't for 50 grand. It was for like nearly £1 million. How can you begrudge a man earning another £1 million after all what he's given you, the entertainment?
Absolutely.
Do you understand?
Did he want to retire?
He knew after that he had to. It just wasn't there. He went to the well and it just wasn't there. And the heart to get up and do the training, his hands were hurting him every morning. His hands hurt him every morning.
Really? Yeah. What did you feel though when he packed up? Did you feel, oh, that's the end for me, or how were you? Or did you support it?
something that we've not spoke about yet, which was played a very important role of in retiring, and I felt it was time to tell him, was during, I don't know which fight it was now, but going back, I got a phone call from the British Boxing Board of Control. They called me in about 4 or 5 fights before that ending, something like that. And I get a phone call from the board, John Morris, and he said, Peter, he said, we need to see you. So I said, okay. So I flew back over to London, and they called me and they said, look, we've got a problem with Nigel. So I said, what's the problem then? They said, well, we found a lesion on his brain. A bleed. So I said, oh yeah. So they've gone, well, yeah, it's not super bad. We're not happy, but it's not bad enough. Our doctors are saying that it's not enough for us to stop him boxing at this moment in time, but they would like him to have a scan before every fight now. So I said, oh, okay, John. So he's gone, yeah. So he's gone, right. So now, from now on, before every fight, we're going to have a scan. I thought, what do I do here? This is an hard situation here, I thought, because I can't tell Nigel, because if I tell Nigel, that's going to put him off fighting in the ring. That's going to interfere with his performance. Or, you know, because he could think, oh, hang on, I can't take that punch because of there, or, you know. So it's dangerous. It's more dangerous telling him, not telling him. And I can't ignore it. And if anything happens to him, I don't want it to be my sole responsibility, even though under the British Boxing Board of Control rules, a manager is the next of kin to a fighter. Yeah? People don't know that. It's not his parents, it's not his wife, it's me. That's why when he signs that paper, he's giving it all up to me. So I thought, right, I know what to do. Nigel's very close with his brother John. So I knew obviously John and Dixon, his dad, very well. So I phoned up Dixon and John, and they come round, and I sat them in my front room, and I said to them at the time, I said, look, this is the situation. I need your guidance. And I said, Dixon, you're his dad. You tell me what you want me to do, and I'll do it. I said, but if I tell Nigel, I can't put him in the ring again. I said, I doubt if you want to fight again. I said, so we have to make the decision amongst the three of us. What's best for Nigel Benn? I said, but I want you to know this, that if anything did happen, I've told you now before the next fight, so that you know that I'm being honest with you and John, who was very close to Nigel, and he actually worked for Nigel running these properties. So I said, all right, John. So they went, yeah, that's sweet. So they had a little conversation, and then they come back to me, and John said to me, Pete, we're going to let him fight on, but we want to obviously an update as often as possible on the situations. I said, but we can't tell Nigel. I said, because of the situation. So they said, no, fine. So that's one of the reasons why I wanted him out after the Steve Collins fight. He started taking too many head shots. From 2-3 fights before that. What happened was, after that fight on the Saturday night, on the Monday morning, Nigel came round to my big house. I had a big massive house in Gideon Park, and he came round there, he parked on me drive, got out, and I went, we got to go up London. So he said, what is that then? I said, brain scan. And he went, what do you mean brain scan? I said, we're going to go and have one more brain scan. I said, because that's it now. I said, and I sat him down in my house and I told him, I said, you've got a bleed on the brain. I said, and I've booked an appointment for today. He's gone, I bleed on the brain? I said, yeah. I said, you've got a tiny, I said, you've had it for about the last 4 or 5 fights. I said, why do you think, when you used to say to me, why have I got to keep having these scans done? I said, this is why.
How did he react to that? Did he feel that you should have told him before?
No. He trusted me implicitly. I said, look, Dixon knew and John knew. Once he knew they knew, he was good as gold. He might have said something different if they didn't know. But he knew I'd done the right thing in speaking to the dad and to his brother John, who he's close to. And he knew that I'd done the right thing. Because I couldn't tell him, and he did want to continue. He was fit enough and strong enough to continue. But obviously then I was a little bit wary on who he fought. And making sure he got a rest in between the fights, because Nigel was fighting 3 times a year, 4 times a year sometimes.
What was your relationship like when it sort of ended? Did you remain friends, or did it?
Yeah. What happened was, me and Nigel were very close away from boxing. All through his career that I was with him, not just the fights. After the fight Monday morning, he'd ring me, he'd go, Pete, what are you doing? Where are you? You coming round or whatever. That's the relationship. We were like best mates, like brothers. We never argued. We never had no arguments, hardly ever, And we had a really good relationship. And then what happened was, after he retired, obviously he started doing different things, and I was doing different things, and I was going with I had other fighters. One day he rang me up, and I answered the phone, and he went, Pete, it's me, Nigel. I went, yeah, what's the matter, mate? He went, this is the God's honest truth. He went, I need you to come and court for me. So I said, what do you mean court? As soon as he said the word court, my ears went, because I don't do that. I don't believe in courts. You understand?
Yeah.
So he said, I want you to come and court for me. I was going, what do you mean court? So he said, yeah, I need you to come to court. I've got a case and I need you to say something about somebody.
Yes.
And I said, no, Nigel, just stop there.
Yeah.
Oh, I said, stop there, Nigel. He goes, what's the matter, Pete? I went, I don't go to court for nobody, Nigel.
Yeah.
I said, I'm not getting a witness box against nobody. I said, I had my eye ripped out with a knife. I said, and I still wouldn't go to court against the geezer.
Yeah.
I said, I'd sort it out myself. I'm in my own court. You know, I said, I'm my own judge and jury. I'll deal with it myself. He went, oh no, I need you to come to court. If you don't come to court for me, I don't want to be your mate no more.
Yeah.
So I said, well, Nigel, I'm sorry, that's how it's got to be. If you don't want to be my mate, we don't have to be a mate. So this was in about 2000, about 2005 or 6, something like that. Then he never spoke to me till 2017.
Really? So that after all that experience...
After all what we've been through and all we've done, as far as I was concerned, he was still one of my closest friends.
Yeah.
Not just for boxing, and I would have still been his mate, loyal.
Do you feel that both of you were a bit pig-headed about it because you're both very...
Yeah, aggressive. We've got that aggressiveness in us. Yeah, both of us. Yeah. He'd never come to that, though. He would never have come to that. No, he'd come round here, we were still pals. Yeah. And he went to me, you know, he was a little bit at the beginning.
Yeah. Do you regret that falling out?
Yes, I do, very much. He's a very good guy. He was very, very kind to me. He was good to work for. It was a pleasure to be around, and it was an honour to be around. Yeah. You know, and I'll say that. And without Nigel Benn, I would always be Peter Defreitas, the rucker type of thing, you know. Yeah. But I wouldn't have been in the boxing world like I am now, or I had studied it as much as I did. Yeah. So I've learnt a lot because I was at the top for many years, all over the USA. I've been Mexico, Cuba. I've been all around the world doing it. Yeah. And I've learnt from all the best. I've worked with the top trainers, the top managers, met all the top fighters. So I was always at the top, never at the bottom. Yes. I always evaded that side of it. So I always worked from the top, but sort of downwards.
How many years was it that you didn't speak? Sort of 10, 12 years?
About 10, 12 years, yeah.
So you kind of regret that, would you? If you'd have gone back, would you have changed your decision about going to court?
No. I can't go to court for nobody. No.
No, it doesn't.
No, they don't comprehend. No. Not if he offered me £1 million, would I do it? No. And that's a fact. Yeah. I don't go to court for nobody.
Yeah. It's a shame that he put that ultimatum on you.
Yeah, he should have done that to me because he knows what type of guy I am. Yeah. He knows I'm from the street, and our code, my pals out there would be they'd be shocked if anything because they know I won't roll that. I don't roll that way. No. You got to remember, I know everybody everywhere. They know I don't roll that way. I mean,
so when was the last time you saw him?
2017. Yeah. He come round here and. We went out to the gym and that's where I met Connor the second time after he grew up. That's the first time I met Connor in 2017. Yeah, Tony Sims's gym. No. I did, from Australia. He rang me from Australia. Yeah. And we spoke on the phone once, that's it. And he never rang me when he found out I got cancer or nothing. Really? No. I was a little bit upset about that because I did care a lot about the kid. Yeah. It weren't about money with me. No, it wasn't about money. Don't get me wrong, it's all nice to earn money. Yes. But with me, money ain't my God. No. Yeah, you know, my friendship and my loyalty to my friends and it means more to me.
Mm-hmm. Would you express that to him? I mean, if that you were upset in that manner?
Look, if he's a real person, which I think he is, he knows what he's done. Yeah. But whether he feels it's in his way, I mean, what he said to me when he came round in 2017, which is I can understand very clearly. He said to me, "Look, Pete," he went, "We had great times together." He said, "I've got a family now, a big family. I've got children, grandchildren, so I'm really busy. Gymnasium." He said, "I'm really busy." He said, "But I'll always be your friend. Yeah. But I'm really busy, so I can only see you when I see you." I said, "Nice, that's understandable, that's fair." Yeah. I understood that, and he took me out for the day. We went out to the gym, bit of food, whatever, come back, had a nice day together. Yeah. So his heart's still there deep down. He knows I'm a good person and he knows I'm loyal to him. Yeah. I won't sit on there and cane him. No. I could tell you things. I could write books. I've been offered books, book deals. 2-3 book deals I've been offered. Been offered to go on Sky TV to do a documentary. Yeah. I said no. You're the first one in 27 years I've done an interview on a camera. Well, I won't do one normally.
Yeah. You work with the IBA now, which is a fantastic organisation, but obviously on a lower strata. You know, do you miss those sort of big, high excitement?
Of course I miss it, but I miss it for when it was in my day. Yes. I can't stand the way it is today.
No, different ballgame.
I mean, like I'll tell you this now. You see how the week before the fight now? Yes. how they have got to do all this media and all the socialising and outside training and people watching. Nigel wouldn't have done that. None of it.
No.
I had to fight cat and dog to get him to do an interview.
Really?
Yeah, the press used to go. They used to go crazy at me because he wouldn't want to. He don't want to do interviews. They used to fly to Tenerife to the camp, and he go, "No, I'm not doing nothing today, Pete. I'm going home."
Yeah.
And once he gets out in his head, he won't change.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was the only one that could get to him.
Yes.
He trusted me, and if I say, "Nige, please do it for me," he'd do it. That is it.
So just a few more things. I mean, what do you think of the boxing scene now? I mean, we've had a few big fights in the kind of heavyweight scene and all that. What did you think of that low blow scenario in the Daniel Dubois?
Right, my take on this low blow is simple.
Yes.
Right. The shorts were, for me, in the correct place, right? I don't feel that Usyk, number one, I don't think Usyk is a cheat.
No.
Not for a second, right? Let's get that out there.
Yeah.
What I see is this. The referee is... The WBA have put a world-class referee in to referee it. He's, in their eyes, he's competent, yeah? He's give unintentional low blow, right? Which could be borderline.
Yes.
Just because the public or the press have said it's a low blow, it's not necessarily meant as that. But the referee hasn't gone out and said it's a low blow, has he? No. He said it's a borderline punch. That then automatically gives the referee carte blanche on how he deals with it. He could say, "I'm taking a point away, 5-minute rest." He could say it was an unintentional. I can see this as an unintentional blow. So therefore, I'm not going to take a point away, and I'm still going to give him a 5-minute rest, which is what he did.
Yes.
And I think it worked out that he had 3 minutes and 41 seconds.
That's right. Yes. Yes.
Some people are saying, "Oh, Usyk's a cheat," but let's get something straight here. Usyk, how many times did Usyk say to the referee, "I'm okay to continue"? Yeah. And the ref went, "No, take more time." Yeah. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Usyk was not a cheat.
Yeah. Did you think that Daniel Dubois kind of gave it up in the later rounds?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Of course he quit. Yeah, 100% quit. You know.
Would you have expected him to do more, to stay in there a bit longer?
I believe that he knew he only had 6 rounds in him.
Yeah.
That's all they... don't get me wrong, they trained for 12 rounds,
yes.
but they only had 6 rounds in the fight because Usyk's a little bit of a slow starter.
Yeah.
He gets stronger and stronger and stronger, and he gets fitter and fitter and fitter. And a fighter who's like that, I'll tell you a couple of fighters who's like that, got stronger and stronger and stronger in the fights. One was Barry McGuigan.
Yes.
He got stronger and stronger and stronger as the fights went on.
Yeah.
And the king of them, who's the number one and my favourite fighter of all time, is Salvador Sanchez.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
He got stronger as every round went on, mate. That's why I call him Mr. Iron Lung.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And then Usyk's the same. He gets stronger and stronger and stronger.
So are you a fan of this? You've got a big Tyson Fury fight coming up. Do you regard it as a proper fight?
I think it's an insult to boxing.
Do you?
Yes,
Yeah.
I really do.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you something, all this misfit, someone's going to get seriously hurt one day, and he's going to put pressure.
Yeah.
It won't happen because it will go underground, but it will put pressure on the government to bring more rules in, more stringent rules in. Otherwise, it will go underground. So they can't stop boxing. They will never stop boxing because it'll go underground.
Yes.
And then that's when it is dangerous, really dangerous. But someone's going to end up getting hurt.
Yeah. Do you think it's Francis Ngannou? I mean, obviously he's a champion at his own game and all that.
He was a champion. He's been beat since he was champion. He's been beat by Stipe.
Has he got even a puncher's chance?
Obviously, yeah. But another one after 3 rounds. If he's still in there, he's on the end of a long jab all night long.
Yeah.
Isn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. Do you think Tyson Fury's kind of like bringing the game a bit into disrepute?
Absolutely.
Like that?
And I'll tell you what I feel about this Tyson Fury is, look, he ain't a bad fighter. Yeah. But for me, he's not much more than a European level, right, as a heavyweight. I would only put him personally, it's my opinion, that he's no more than a European. He's got nobody out there to fight except for Usyk. There ain't nobody in the same league as him at the moment. He's very, very fortunate. But he's also been very cleverly brought along. Yes. Because I was in Brentwood Leisure Centre when he fought McDermott the first time. Yeah. And McDermott beat him. I scored the card. Spencer Oliver was sitting next to me and I scored that fight. And I said to Spencer, he's lost this fight. It was his 9th pro fight. I'll never forget it, Tyson Fury. Yeah. He come down in his black outfit. I'll never forget it. He got the decision. But he got beat. Yeah. And then the next one, he beat McDermott comfortably, Yes. But in the first one, he didn't. Yeah. So, going back, and then now how I see it with Tyson Fury, he's been cleverly brought along. Mm-hmm. You can't blame him for what he's doing. He's earning money outside the ring. He's not concentrating on boxing whatsoever.
No.
He's taking it as a big joke.
Yeah.
And, you know, who's he actually fought? Let's get it straight.
Yeah.
He fought an old Klitschko,
Yes.
right, who he wouldn't beat if he was younger.
Yeah.
Right? And then he's beat a basketball player with a big punch.
Yeah.
He hasn't beat no technician.
No.
Steve McCunningham, who's a cruiserweight, was beating him.
Yeah.
Till he
Well,
got caught.
I mean, nowadays, I go back into the old 70s and stuff like that.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Every single fighter, your Muhammad Ali's were fighting. I mean, they were some great fighters then. There doesn't seem to be the fighters in the heavyweights now.
I don't think you can compare the 70s and the 80s with today for the simple reason, two reasons I see it. One is size,
Yes.
and two is nutrition.
Yeah.
And they've got all the nutrients now, and they make them much stronger and fitter. You know, I mean, just look at the progress from when Holyfield turned over from cruiser to heavy. The transition he went,
Yes.
you know, from getting up to that size.
Yeah.
You know, back in the 70s, they wasn't. I mean, Ali was only 15 stone 6, something like that.
Yeah.
Even Rocky Marciano was only 14 stone 10, 15 stone.
Yeah.
They were tiny men.
Yes.
I mean, Usyk's a giant to them.
Yeah.
So it shows you that they couldn't have lived in today's. I mean, the best of our era that I think we have seen, to be quite honest, is someone like Lennox Lewis or Riddick Bowe.
Yeah.
Another good boxer, but never got the recognition, you know.
Yes.
They're two good fighters. But the likes of Fury and Anthony Joshua, but I, look, I'm not a great lover of any of them, but Anthony Joshua, at least he's got in there and fought people.
Yes.
Whether he's got beat, I respect Anthony Joshua a lot more than I do Tyson Fury.
Right. Well, what do you think if the two of them met up? Who would you go for?
It depends on whether Tyson Fury can get himself up for that fight.
Yeah.
If he really wants to go in and win, he will outbox him.
Yes.
Yeah? And he can take a shot. And I think Anthony Joshua's too stiff to fight Fury.
Yeah.
At the beginning of his career, I did favour Anthony Joshua.
Yes.
But watching them both over the years, if you get a fit Tyson Fury and a fit AJ, I'd have to put my money on the fit Fury.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So,
But he's got to be fit.
What's the future for you now, Pete? I mean, you've had this cancer thing going on, and that's in remission at the moment, which we're all
I've
pleased
got
about.
more than cancer though. I've got 2 tumours in the liver. I've got 6 kidney stones in one kidney. I've got 5 kidney stones in the other kidney. I'm very ill.
yeah. But you look well.
Yeah, because I've lost 5 stone. I've dieted. I've really took it. Look, I'm a fighter.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to go and lay down and just like lay down on my bed and say I'm going.
Yeah.
If I go, I'll go. I'm not frightened of dying. But
You're not bothered, no?
no, I'm not bothered. If I die, I die. What have I got to live for anyway?
I mean, I suppose when you're in the middle of that kind of cancer fight, do you have any sort of ambitions for your future, or are you just happy as to stick around as you are?
I be honest with you, I don't mix a lot with people.
No.
I haven't touched any alcohol for 4 years almost. I don't touch any alcohol. I don't smoke, and I don't take drugs. I never have done, as I said to you. I'm a very clean living man. I don't eat no processed food. Yeah. I've not ate bread for 4 years. I've not ate no cheese for 3 years. I'm very fussy with what I eat, what goes in me. So I look after myself, and I feel very well.
Yes.
But internally, I'm not.
No.
So looking at me now, people go to me every time I go out. They go, "Oh, you look well for your age." I thought you were about 50.
Yeah.
You know, I'm 64.
Yes.
You know, but I'm very ill internally. So I'm still under a lot of doctors, a lot of surgeons. I mean, I've had a blood test this week, and I've seen a urologist this week, kidney doctors. You know, they're watching me close.
Yeah.
So I'm in and out of hospital twice a week at the moment.
Yes.
I've got to see me cancer doctors. I've had so many scans and bloods and.
When you look back, what would you say was your best moment in boxing that you really...
In boxing, has got to be when he beat Gerald McClellan, obviously. That was the greatest moment. You know why? Because nobody gave us a chance, really.
Yeah.
And I knew he was going to win that.
Yeah.
And I told Frank Warren before the fight, and you can ask him now, I said, Frank, he'll win this fight, trust me.
Yeah.
I said, have your house on it.
Yeah.
I said, he's going to win this. I said, he's up for this like you ain't never seen. And he was up for it.
Yeah. And personally, how do you think people will look back on the life of Peter Defreitas and... that's a morbid question here. But,
I'm going to be honest with you. There's 2 sides of Peter Defreitas.
Yeah.
There's a side that the real people know of me, and there's a bullshit side where I get labelled an animal, a beast, a savage, a nasty man, all this crap. And them are the people that don't know me.
Yes.
They're the only people that basically hear stories. You know how stories get... I have a fight tomorrow. Say I had a fight tomorrow. I almost killed someone by the end of the week. Do you see what I'm saying? And that's how it is. And that's what I want to get at. People don't understand. But I'm a really nice, loyal person.
Yeah.
I'm loyal to my friends and I'm loyal. I don't turn on people. I've never had a fight with one of my friends. I don't turn on my own.
No.
I'm from the street. I'm old school.
Yes.
You know? But I don't like all the stories and the lies that come out about me. There's no need for it.
No. Do you have any regrets? Is there anything that you look back on and think,
Yeah.
do you know, wish I had done that?
Losing my family, definitely, yeah. I miss my kids, terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think that's something that can be sorted?
I don't know. My door's always open to them. They know where I live. My door's always open. Yeah. I'll never say no, and I'll never say never. You know, I love my children with all my heart and my grandkids. But what can I do about it? Apart from, as I say, if I sit here thinking about it too much, I'll go and do something about it, and I don't want that. You know, I'll try not to do that. I've tempted a few times.
Yes.
I really contemplated a few times, and one thing about me is you don't want me as an enemy. You understand? I'm a bad fucker. I am. I know I am.
Yeah.
I'm not no tougher than no one else. I'm not sitting here trying to be a gangster.
No.
But I'm a bad motherfucker when I lose it. You understand?
Yeah.
I am a bad motherfucker. The thoughts I get in my head is like not a normal person.
Are they the same sort of thoughts you had as a child back then?
I think they're the most vicious things I can do to someone. Really? Not I'm going to go and have a tear out of him. Yeah. No, I'm thinking I'm going to open him up. I'm going to serve him up proper. You know what I mean? And that's how I think. Like, but I've got. The difference between now and then is I can control myself now.
Yes.
Whereas I couldn't then.
Yeah.
I'll go and do the bird. I'll go come out and do. I've done the bird. I've come out and that. But people look at me and I don't look like a fighter. No. I don't look that type of person, but because my nose ain't all over the place. But because I'm obviously good at what I do. You understand? Or I was good at what I did. You know, but I'm a totally different person now. Yeah. But I still get the same aggressive thoughts if someone really upsets me.
Is there anything else that you want to say to people or before?
Don't believe the shit that's out there about me. You know, get to know me. If you get to know me, you know I'm a genuinely nice person. Yeah. I love boxing. I'm good at boxing, you know.
And you still do, as I say, I mean, we've got a fight night coming up. And you still do all the cuts and all that.
Yeah, I do the hands, the cuts, and I'm basically there as, if, say, for instance, the referee didn't turn up and I was stuck and they've got me, I can do anything, so it doesn't really matter, you know.
You still get that
judging.
Respect, people still know you.
Oh, yeah, they come up photos and all that, and talk to me and ask for photos and nice things, you know, and... But I stopped all that getting introduced in the ring and all that. I didn't want all that.
You didn't want that?
No, I don't want all that. And when I got cancer, they offered to do a charity do for me, and I said no, thank you.
Really?
No, I don't want money. What do I want money for? Yeah. As Khabib said once, when I listened to him, you know, the MMA fighter, he said you can only eat one loaf a day. What do I need money for? I don't drink. I don't smoke. I don't go out clubbing. I like nice clothes. Yeah. You know, and I like nice things. I like, you know, but what do I need money for? Yeah. I live here quiet. Yes. On my own.
Yeah, very nice. It's lovely.
You know, I live here on my own, quiet. I don't owe no one nothing. I don't borrow. I don't beg. Yeah. And I'm happy here. You know, I've got my little car out there. I go where I want when I want, and I just live very quiet.
Yeah. Well, I think that's it, Pete. I mean, folks, what an interesting interview, and it'd be lovely to see more of Pete because he knows everything there is to know about boxing because he's been there and he's done it. And so fantastic. Thank you very much, Peter. It's been a brilliant interview.
Oh, you're welcome.
Cheers.
Thanks.